Okay, now it's recording. Hi everyone again. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ivy from MoeGo, and I'm super excited to welcome you to our webinar From Groomer to Growth, Mindset Shifts That Scale a Mobile Grooming Business. Melinda Stanford is also here with me today to co-host and moderate the webinar. She's been with MoeGo for 3 years, and she also has a growing grooming and pet retail business in the Midwest. So, a couple of housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded. I just pressed it. So, we'll be sharing with everyone the recording link. In case you have to drop early, you can catch it on the MoeGo YouTube channel. And then as we go along today, please drop your questions in the chat. Melinda and I will try our best to answer all of them, or we'll save them to the live Q&A section at the end. I'll kick it over to Melinda to introduce our guests.
Hi everyone, I'm Melinda. So I do own a retail and grooming salon in Carmel, Indiana. I'm also really good friends with Chris and Emily. They went from a single operating grooming truck to building an entire fleet of vans, and now they're also franchising their entire business. So we're going to dive deep into how they shift their mindset from groomer to business owner and how they really started scaling everything. So let's make sure we welcome Chris and Emily, the co-founders of Rough Life Mobile, DapperTails, both just
Both,
super
a little bit of
successful,
both.
super
Yeah, we're a little
successful
confused.
power couple.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, it's so great to be here. It's so great to see how far we've grown in the 8 years that we've been in business, from one truck to over 20 across the United States. It's been a wild ride, and but all good things. Like, we've met so many great people along the way, and we hope to continue doing that in the future. So that's why we're here.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, Emily, for sharing. Chris, do you have anything else you want to add on?
She said it perfectly amazing. I mean, 8 years, the journey has been wild, and we're heading into a whole new era with our franchise launch just last month. And we're very excited to take on a lot of groomers. And like Emily said, we've met a lot of amazing groomers, and we can't wait to meet even more amazing people to be part of our national team as we grow.
That's awesome. Thank you for the two of you for sharing. We'll get started on the first question. So, when you're advising groomers on changing their mindset from solo groomer to business owner, what are the top 3 things you tell them that they need to change?
I mean, there's so many things that you could change for mindset, but one is stop thinking like just a groomer, just a technician, and start really thinking like a leader. You're not just a groomer when you're growing a business, you're the CEO of your business. That means stepping back from doing everything yourself and learning to delegate tasks, train, lead the team. And that means that you might have to give up a little bit of the perfectionist OCD that you might have grooming and give more direction to your team and your groomers, who are going to kind of take over the role of actually grooming. And time is also a limited resource. And because, again, they want to do everything themselves. But if you want to grow, you need to protect your time. And that means scheduling smarter, paying into more apps, stuff like that, building margins, and basically learning to say no when something doesn't serve the bigger picture. Confidence in pricing, confidence in growth. You can't scale, obviously, if you're undercharging. Your pricing should reflect your skill, the quality of your service, and the value that you provide, not what someone down the block is doing. We always say don't charge based on what you think people can afford, charge based on what your business needs to thrive. Again, you can't grow as a business if you're, doing charity work for people. And building systems, not just habits. So what works when you're by yourself and solo won't scale. So you need systems for scheduling, customer communication, rebooking, upkeep, training, and even the way you groom. Your quality of work needs to get better. Tools like MoeGo can help automate the repeatable things that you could focus on actually growing and not just doing the everyday grind.
Yeah, that sounds good. I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into what you mean when you said, like, you could be too busy as a solo groomer to focus about growth. Where do you find that balance? Like, when is it where you need to prioritize growth for your business than like the day to day?
I mean, personally, I found, well, coaching over the past 5 years, groomers that were felt like they were stuck in a certain point. I found that most people that I was coaching or mentoring, they were stuck at a specific point, and that specific point was that they were grooming, owner operator, coming home, and then just not being able to really tend to the phone calls and the after hours work. And that's really what made them not be able to pass that 8 to 10K a month in sales in that mobile van, because it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be grooming, running a business, dealing with maintenance, van, tech, accounting, taxes, payroll, phones. I mean, it's endless. It's an endless amount of work. So that's where I find a lot of people really get stuck, is that they're just doing everything themselves and they're not automating. And a lot of them fall in the category of they're not able to hire a virtual assistant or a secretary or someone to be able to answer the phone. And that all comes down to not pricing their services right, I truly believe, because if they had the extra money to hire that virtual assistant or secretary to answer the phone, that's when they'd be able to actually grow and not even realizing that that will push them to the next level.
Yeah, I think that leads us to the next question about like systems and digital tools.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that and say when you spend money on your business, Chris and Emily, I think you guys are going to agree. It's not necessarily like paying for that employee, but it's changing that mindset towards I'm going to start investing in my business and I'm going to invest in my time and how can I become more efficient, which is going to lead into our next question, which is once that mindset shift happened and you started growing your business, what were the first digital tools or systems or policies you put in place to really start growing?
Well, for us personally, I think the breaking point for us was March 2020. COVID hit. Our phones, we actually unplugged them out of the walls because it just was actually crazy. And I realized, like, I can't do it anymore. I can't answer the phone. I can't be a mechanic. I can't be a secretary. I can't play therapist. I can't do it all. So what did we have to do? We had to hire secretaries. And at that point, that's when we hired our first secretary in March of 2020. And we felt like, to me, yes, was it a big, step forward to hire a person that was going to cost the business $1,000 a week to put into place when I was doing that? Yes. And as much as I didn't want to spend that money, it was an investment in the business. That person answering the phone calls and actually tending to the clients, they made our business explode. We went, I mean, every month we were grooming more dogs. Our sales just month after month went up the second we hired that first secretary, alongside using MoeGo. We've been long following MoeGo since 2017 when we first started, just like when you guys first started. It took us 2 years to catch on, a little back and forth. I didn't believe that I needed it, just like I didn't need a secretary. And one phone call with MoeGo Lily, and that changed my life, honestly. Putting this platform into effect in our system literally changed our life, and was able to not just change our Long Island scale, but it made us be able to go national and be able to take it out of Long Island because of the software that was flawless, in my opinion, to be able to implement in other locations and run this business. And we were using a completely different software prior to MoeGo. So that really helped a lot for us.
Awesome. So you mentioned something that I want to kind of branch on. You didn't think you needed MoeGo. Can we touch on a little bit on
Oh, I
why
could
you thought
definitely, yeah. So,
why you
yeah,
didn't think you need
yeah,
it? And
yeah.
then
So,
like
yep.
let's tear that apart. So
So
why did
it's
you need
funny
it?
when we actually started. We started, believe it or not, with pen and paper.
Pen and paper. It lasted for a week, but
No,
pen and
I
paper.
don't even think it lasted for a week. It lasted like 3 days, and the phone was just like running off the hook. We're like, yeah, no, this is not gonna work.
So we used another platform for like 3 years. And basically, I'm a workaround person. So I found every workaround to go around the system that we were using in the past, that were like, okay, well, we're just going to make it work for us. So when we got on the phone with MoeGo Lily, we tried to really find, she tried to show us her software and what it had. And I kind of was like, well, we don't use online booking. We don't do online booking. Our customers just, they want me to answer the phone. They want me to book them. They want a human to answer. They don't want to do the online booking. And that to me was like a big, I'm like, it's not going to work. This online thing is not going to work. The online booking, all these features that she had, I didn't really feel like they would really be useful in our business, honestly. And I was completely wrong. I don't ever say I'm completely wrong many times, but in this specific time, I was completely wrong. At some point, I just bit the bullet. I'm like, you know what? If we want to grow, we have to change. And in order to change, we have to bite the bullet and move forward. We have to train our clients to feel a new way, to implement a new way. And it's very hard, as we all know, to teach an old dog new tricks. So it really was very difficult taking credit cards, doing online booking, automating a lot of things. I mean, it was very challenging, extremely challenging. But the time and effort it took in a month, even just the groomers, my biggest concern wasn't even clients. It was taking all our groomers off one platform, putting them on a different platform and training them. And we were like, listen, give us 30 days. Let's test the software. Let's put it out there to our groomers. I had 1 or 2 groomers test it on the DL. They didn't even take any training. Within like 2 days, they're like, this is a joke. This software is so easy to use. Every groomer in under 30 days, we were full blown on MoeGo, completely ditched our old software, and we were on board before January 1st. And we did it in December, which is obviously, we all know it's the busiest month of the year. Not sure why I chose that month, but that's just what happened. But everyone was on board within 2 weeks of that software launch for us. And our clients, because our groomers were so happy to go from like 0 to 100, having all the tools, communication, everything streamlined, it just made life so easy to implement to our clients. And obviously, as the growth of MoeGo and being one that helps implement a lot of new ideas and tweaks within the software, it really helped us grow even more. So we love it, and it changed our business for the better, really.
I love that. is going to lead our next question, so I'm going to let her take over from here.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. So, another main point that you mentioned in a prior answer is pricing. So, let's talk about pricing. I do have a poll for everyone here in the webinar, so I'm gonna launch it. And everyone, please, vote, and then I'll share the results very soon. But the question is, who feels like they're charging their worth at their salon? Yes, they found the perfect pricing for their salon. No, they feel like they're undercharging, or no, they're overcharging their price.
I
I'll give
want to
it.
say, oh, okay.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. No, feel
I was
free.
going to say, I don't think anyone feels like they're overcharging. I'd like to
I
meet
feel
them.
like
Make
I'm
them.
perfect.
You're not overcharged. Nobody's overcharging. There's not one. Even we're not overcharging, and we're overcharging. So no, that's out on that. Perfect pricing, maybe. Undercharging, probably 90% of people fall into the undercharging category without even realizing. And I think the confidence is the biggest lack in that.
I want to say I need to give a shout out, and he's not here because he's with our children, but Sean, my husband, deserves a shout out for rebuilding our entire pricing. And he may or may not have looked at this wonderful company that's mobile called Rough Life, and we
Oh my
helped
God.
it helped us build our pricing model. So I don't know if he's watching, but like shout out to my husband who's somewhere in this house taking care of our children. For
Oh
the
my
kids are in bed.
goodness.
He's watching, so he's on. Hi, honey. So we just it was terrifying. I think we've all been in those moments where we raise prices, and it's absolutely terrifying.
Listen,
Yeah.
even us, we start at 165 for a small dog. We raise $5 and we lose clients. And I'm always like, like it kills me because I'm like, I'm losing a $165 client, but I can't think that way. So I just look forward, and there's people that want to pay the 170, and we just keep it moving. So you really have to think with that mindset. Everything's about the mindset.
I know. I feel like
So you're touching on it really well. And that's something that we look at is like, okay, we lose one client, but we need to lose X amount of clients before we actually start losing dollars with this price increase. And that mindset, like maybe if you want to talk about that a little bit, because I think that's something that a lot of groomers need to just hear, that it's okay to
Right. I mean,
let
the whole
clients
purpose of
go.
raising your prices in reality is to actually lose some clients so you can make room for clients who are ready, willing, and able to pay even more for your service. I mean, a lot of groomers undervalue themselves because they've been taught to price based on what others charge. And, the clients have an input like, oh, you're too expensive. And they think that they're okay, they're too expensive. But if that client could groom the dog themselves, they would do it themselves. But, they need to hire a professional, and if they didn't want to pay more, they could go bring their dog to a shop for mobile. And, but they don't want to. They want the convenience factor of mobile grooming. So the pricing really should reflect on their skills, their time and experience, and the whole value of what they're bringing to the table, really.
We're focused on pricing 24/7. We just launched a new location in Scottsdale, Arizona. And even us, after 20 vans, 8 years in business, 25 groomers, many states, it's still a challenge. We still have to understand the pricing of the market, supply and demand, really understand what people want to pay or what they would pay for our service. So we launched in Scottsdale, Arizona. We start at 125 thinking, hey, like that's just a starting point. Let's see what happens. Within 7 days, we have had not a single person not book our service or want to use us. So that's telling me that I'm priced pretty cheap. Within a week, we bumped it to 130. Same thing. No one said anything. Within another week, 135. Third week, 140. Fourth week, 150. We are at $18,000 for the first month of launch in a brand new location at $150 start. I don't care what any groomers in the area are charging. I just go in by how many phone calls are coming into us and the feedback on the phone calls when clients are like, oh, you're the cheapest groomer we found. Oh, you're the one with the soonest availability. Supply and demand. That's what we've been preaching for the past 8 years. This is how we base and start and continue pricing our dogs. Everything is based on that in the entire world. So we use the same model and we continue forward. And regardless, and we pivot very quickly. It could be within 3 weeks, we had 3 price increases. I mean, it is what it is. We have to make sure our groomers, because at the end of the day, our groomers get paid commission. And for them to stay content and employed and want to be with us, they have to be making great money. So we always think about our groomers. Charging more means our groomers make more, which means that they're not going anywhere. That's the whole mindset for us.
Another, I just want to touch on that. MoeGo, I'm pretty sure has an amazing tool for your online booking funnel. And I use this personally when I'm like trying to gauge prices, like, am I priced right? I can see where people drop off at the service price. And so I'll increase it. And if that percentage doesn't drop, that tells me that I'm still competitive. So it's like, I don't know if you guys use that. Me and
All the
Sean really
time.
love that
I
tool.
helped create that feature. I don't know if you know or not, but I was one of the testers on that feature. And I think that
Yes.
the abandoned booking is the money feature in MoeGo. Personally, I mean, Long Island, 25,000 a month we recover in online abandoned bookings. 25 grand a month.
That's insane.
Yeah, just Long Island. Yes, we call them. Somebody's asking if we call them. We call them. We text them immediately because they're one of two reasons they're abandoning the booking. It's going to be pricing. Either it's too expensive, that's why they backed out, or the availability wasn't soon enough and they backed out. It's only one of two choices of why they abandoned the booking, regardless of the step. And both of those items we can fix very easily by giving a new client discount to wow them. So when my groomer shows up, she's going to wow them more than ever, and they're locked in at that point. Whether it's $10, $20, $30, $40, doesn't matter. Go there, show them what you're worth, and let them understand why you're worth the premium. And if they want it sooner, I'll even move an existing client that's on the calendar that we know is a regular every 4 weeks to Thursday instead of Tuesday because, Susie needed an appointment sooner because she's going away on vacation. So we really do our best to get all our abandoned bookings in. And that's why our recovery rate is like 75% plus.
That's very impressive. I'm gonna end the poll and launch the or share the results. But I hope that for those people who chose undercharged or overcharged, you got some really good insight from this segment. But on the bright side, 52% said yes, perfect pricing. So that's awesome.
I bet they could probably still raise their pricing. Just saying.
I think Chris loves talking pricing
all day. We have groomers that don't leave us that are making a lot of money.
Yeah. So Getting into that owner mindset, switching manual operations for technology, charging the right price. What would you say were like the three biggest factors in running your mobile business? And then, like, why did you decide to create the franchise? Like, can we talk about that a little bit? And I personally want to know, like, what is your marketing when you open a new van? Like, let's talk Arizona, brand new van, brand new brand. Like, how does that all work?
Well, I mean, once we built a successful grooming operation, I mean, we realized that we were sitting on so much bigger than our own business. And we really saw the need for empowering groomers in the industry who wanted to grow but really didn't know how. I mean, mobile grooming really is a relatively new industry. I mean, grooming's been around forever, but COVID, everyone got dogs. And everyone loves convenience now with Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and Amazon Fresh. Everything is about convenience. So mobile grooming, I mean, the industry basically exploded and it's very new. And we've figured out a way to conquer it. So we kind of want to share our insight with everyone else. And that's why we started our How to Succeed in Mobile Grooming Facebook group. It was our way of bringing groomers together, sharing experiences, the mindset shifts, and how to really get them to grow. And that's basically why we built DapperTails, because it's a proven system with support, branding, and a community that has their back. So even if a groomer doesn't really know the business mindset, we can kind of support them and help them grow and give them the tools that they need to really grow. Um, so
And Scottsdale was a great market because we found a groomer in our network and the How to Succeed in Mobile Grooming group. We took her, we shipped a brand new van down to Scottsdale, and we just launched our business. The same model that we have in all our other states, we launched it there. And I mean, the feedback, I've never personally seen any market ever fill up that quick. Not even Long Island, not 7 years ago, not today. The feedback is unbelievable, and it's truly because the groomer. We're coming in with a brand new van, infrastructure, support, and training, which is a little important. But I think the most important is the groomer that we put in the van. The training and support that we empower that groomer, make sure that she understands what she needs, give her the tools that she needs to succeed, and make her understand our business model and make her know that she's a business partner at the end of the day. They're getting paid commission. So once those groomers, we're shifting their mindset, forget our mindset, we're shifting their mindset to really understand how we are and what we're doing together. And the results are right there. 18,000 the first month, second van going down there in September. I mean, it's just unbelievable for us.
Something that you touched on that I would like a little bit more details on is you're talking about like onboarding and supporting her. And so she's a talented groomer. It sounds like she had a good mindset. But what tools or what support were you able to give her to really help her explode? Like, let's talk about like what you were able to offer to really get her to the next level and go from that groomer to now she's a partner. Like, what? How did you fill that gap?
Well, most groomers, I mean, really at the end of the day, they're doing everything, right? So we take away the things that most groomers don't want to do. So when you ask any groomer, hey, what don't you want to do? It's, put down money on a brand new van. It's deal with maintenance, accounting, taxes, MoeGo, setting it up, dealing with clients. Like what do groomers want to do? Groomers want a brand new van and want to do it their passion and dream and love. And that's grooming dogs. And that's all we want. We want you to wake up, get in the van, put on your beautiful uniform, and go groom dogs. Okay, that's what we want. We're going to train you to make you understand what's going to, make you achieve that in the easiest way. We're going to give you all the support, all the training. We're going to fly you to New York to our headquarters, or we're going to fly down there and train you on that van, make you understand that this van is the best in the industry, the best in the country that's built, the most efficient van. Give you all the tools, tips, and tricks to make you be the most efficient so you can groom the most dogs in the least amount of time, and obviously make the most amount of money in the least amount of time, and feel like you're independent, doing your own thing. There's no cameras in the van. There's no GPS locators. It's just you, your van, and your dog in that van. but you do have a full team behind you. God forbid anything happens, whether it's a question, whether it's anything, you're completely good to just fall back on us for anything you need to help you grow or help you just push forward to keep doing what we need you to do, which is just get up and groom.
I love that.
Well, this seems like an amazing opportunity for a lot of groomers to become their own business owners. What about like finding the right groomers to join your team?
That's how we've launched a lot of our locations: Charlotte, North Carolina, Valdosta, Georgia, Scottsdale, Arizona, uh, Kalamazoo, Michigan. I mean, these are all groomers in our group that have been watching our journey. I mean, I guess we didn't really realize that 7 years ago when we started our How to Succeed in Mobile Grooming group, just making videos in our backyard, sitting there, empowering groomers, telling them to charge more, telling them that they're still not charging enough. I don't care what you're charging, it could still be more. I mean, I can go on all day. Those videos, all that time spent, all that whole journey of people watching us really put us on the map, kind of, to make people understand and believe in what we're doing and that we're here for the groomer. Our company was built by groomers. We're the only franchise in the country that owns and operates grooming vans in multi-state operation that actually is privately owned, like husband, wife, not private equity owned, just completely owned right here. You're talking to the owners of it, and that's not common. So what groomers, I think, hate in today's world, again, going back to my coaching and mentoring, I feel like the biggest thing they despise, because the industry has gotten very commercial over the past couple of years in the spotlight of everybody popping up into this space, is the non-groomer owner operators that just buy into these businesses that are not groomers and don't really understand. They don't talk groomer language, like I say, right? It's the groomer language. They don't speak groomer language, and groomers can't stand that. And at the end of the day, groomers are groomers because they want to be in the van with dogs and they speak groomer language, and those people don't speak groomer language. So for us, we're built like that, and that's why we're successful, I believe.
Yeah, most of our groomers really found us. And we're always looking out for, groomers who are motivated and driven. I mean, if you have the same mentality as us and you really want to succeed, whether you know how to do it or not, like, we want to help you thrive. And that's what we've been about from the beginning. I mean, I know it. I've worked at corporate for the first 10 years of my grooming career. And, I worked my butt off and ended up not getting anything to show for it. So, that's why we created this whole thing, is to really give groomers the opportunity to grow and do something that they like. And, because burnout really is real for groomers. There's only so long that you can groom dogs day after day after day. It's physically exhausting to you, and it's not really something sustainable for you to do for the long term. So we're looking to give groomers an opportunity to grow as leaders, as trainers, as lead groomers, or management in our company. That gives them a little bit more opportunity than they would have had by themselves.
That's amazing. Everyone on this webinar, slide in, reach out to experts. Melinda, would you like to ask the next question?
Yeah, so the singular van you started out with has now grown to be like this nationwide mobile grooming business. Like, we're talking about it. Let's go personal. What does this growth mean to you? Like, how are you two feeling? What do you like? Let's just talk about that.
First of all, it means everything to us. First of all, let's get that out of the way. I mean, it did start out as one van, one dream, and a lot of work has grown into something way bigger than we would have ever imagined. Like I said, we were sitting in our backyard making videos on a new group that we started before COVID on, like, how to succeed in, mobile grooming, thinking like it was just this little tiny group
Yeah, it
that
was
has
something we did for
5,000
fun.
followers right now. One
We
of
were
the
bored, COVID.
pretty much.
And look what it came into. And again, I mean, we're so passionate about what we do, and we love seeing the outcome of all these successful, amazing groomers. I mean, there are so many groomers who didn't have us by your side, who've been mobile and been successful on their own, and we give them some serious props for doing what they're doing, because I couldn't do it by myself without Chris. And nor could he do it without me. So for one owner operated to do it by themselves, like, oh my God, applause to you, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. So, and it's, and because the industry is growing so rapidly, I mean, we want to make that opportunity just available to more people. So, I mean, growth is just everything for us.
I mean, for us, yeah, it is everything, but it's also not just about the number of trucks that we have or the number of cities that we're in, but it's basically the impact that we're making across the industry. The growth means more than just groomers finding the real career opportunities without burning out or struggling alone. We're there to support them. I mean, a lot of our groomers are coming from the corporate world, or they worked for some of these other franchises that popped up that, thought they knew how to pay them, treat them, retain them, and obviously they didn't. And they come to us, and we just show them the real way, how to be treated and how they should be treated. And we take them under us, and we give them the right tools to support and make them succeed. Um,
I just love that, because it's so much more than just running a successful business. It's building relationships with your team and meeting so many lovely people in the industry. I mean, I met you, Chris, at Hershey, and built this entire relationship, and get peer pressure all the time to buy a van that I'm too scared of. But
you're still scared. I mean, you know what? Some people you just can't help. You're one of them, all right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, no, that's another conversation that me and Sean are working on something different now. But I mean, I love hearing that. It's more than just the number of vans that you have. It's more than just the number of it's more than a number. Like, how many people have you been able to meet and uplift and empower and prevent that burnout while keeping them in an industry that they truly love? Because most people are in this industry not because they like people, but because they like pets. And being able to help keep them in this industry longer is something that you're enabling and creating. And I think that's huge. And I love it. And we all appreciate it so much.
And also showing them that they can make great money doing it, because we're charging great money, which in obviously return gives them that paycheck back.
It is a fantastic career. I think uplifting this entire industry and letting people know that this is a good career choice, and this is a great trade that you could learn and build a very successful career upon, and have a good work-life balance that is obtainable. And there are business owners like you out there helping support groomers to have that good work-life balance, to prevent that burnout and really enjoy their job.
And for us, it's a daily reminder that when you lead with purpose, you treat people the right way, you show them what they deserve and how to be treated, and you never stop evolving. Amazing things are obviously happening. We're proud of the growth that we've established and built with our groomers, obviously not because of us, but we're even more proud of what it represents: the freedom, support, and possibility for the next generation of groomers. I mean, the text messages I get from our groomers, this is what I live for. It could be 10 o'clock at night. And I mean, I don't have them pulled up on my phone, but I mean, it's just, it gives you chills when you read those messages of how they're able to go on this vacation or do this specific thing or buy this house or just do the things they want because of us. And it's like, I don't ever think about it like that until I get those messages. And that's what really hits home for me personally.
I'm also, I just have to bring this up, and this is an out there, but I'm very close with my team. And I literally got a text, I think it was yesterday or the day before. You might be on here, but it was, "Mom, is the rice to water ratio 1-2?" Because that's the relationship I have with my team, is that she's apparently trying to make rice. And my response was, "I don't know, ask Sean." Because I don't make the rice, Sean does. So I hear that, being able to have that relationship with your team.
That's what it's all about. It's all about. That's what it's all about. Period. End of story.
It's actually funny. So last night we went out to like a Live at 5, like a block party for like local restaurants and everything. And some random groomer, we went with one of our groomers, and there was some random girl who went up to our groomer, Rachel, and she has all the scissor tattoos and the paw.
She fits the groomer persona very
like
good.
A groomer. So, and her dad, I guess they own a shop, and her dad kept on like shoving the daughter, like, "Is that a groomer? We need a groomer." So they start scouting Rachel, and they're like, "Oh, are you a groomer?" And she was like, "I am a groomer." And I'm actually here with my bosses right now, and I love it. And they were like, oh, well, we were wondering if you wanted a better opportunity. She's like, honestly, not for nothing, but I absolutely love my job, and there is no way in hell that I'm going anywhere. But do you want to change?
So
And
we ended up scouting her for us, and she's gonna come and do a day in mobile just to try it. Believe it or
yeah.
not, it went completely opposite, which is crazy, but at the same point, not really. Because when they
That's
see that
hilarious.
comeback, they're like, "Whoa!" They were not expecting that. No one expects
Mhm.
that. No one's ever loving their bosses. No one's ever obsessed with their job. No one ever doesn't leave their job. No one's ever not looking for the next best opportunity. So for us, we're proud of all those relationships and opportunities that we've given our groomers, not to mention all the sliding in DMs that everybody else is trying to get with our groomers. And that's just one
Yeah.
story of 100 that they just screenshot us and they're like, really, this guy thinks like he's gonna get in. But
Right.
funny.
And you know what? And like you said before, a lot of our groomers came to us, and word of mouth, especially in the groomer community, it spreads like wildfire, whether it's good or bad. You don't want it to be bad. But when it's good, it's like we've never really scouted any groomers. We've all of our groomers came from another groomer. Like, oh my gosh, they worked at a salon. You have to come work for them. The money's crazy. They're great people to work for. And it's just like, and that's where the word of mouth spreads. And that's how we've grown so rapidly.
Even in Arizona, we got our lead groomer there, Heather, and she already has 2 trainees that just in 3 weeks has already just told them, oh my God, you don't even understand. Like and one of them owns her own shop that she's planning on just when her lease terminates in 10 months from now, she's coming full time. Right now, she's doing part-time in the van 3 nights a week and 1 weekend day that she's working in the van. So once you have that lead groomer who can just basically prove it to other groomers, because listen, people trust us and we can talk all day. But when it comes from a groomer rather than us, it's magnified 100 times more than just coming from us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely hear that.
word of mouth is powerful, and I bet after this webinar, your phone's gonna be ringing nonstop. So I just want to know, where do you see DapperTails going next? What's like the next goal, next state, next location, next, I don't know, ambition?
We're going to Melinda's town.
Oh, man.
I know. I know. I know. I
We're
know,
trying. We're
Chris.
focused. We're focused on creating a real revolution.
Sean,
Take
Sean,
it
you're
over.
on here. Let's,
Sean,
Sean,
I just got to
help,
talk to Sean, the real
help.
boss,
I know.
obviously.
Well, hey, we have different roles. We have different roles. I like my salon. Okay. I know. I know. I know. Trust me, because this is a webinar. Let's stay focused on
I
you.
mean,
Let's
there's
not
nothing
talk
wrong with
about
that. I
that.
mean, the whole ultimate goal is love what you do and get paid well for it. So if you love it and you're making great money, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I think Chris knows this. I don't know if you know Emily, but we also have a large retail, and that's honestly probably what I have the most fun with. And Sean would probably disagree because I think he does the most work for it, and I'm going to claim I have the most fun with it. Maybe it's because I just like making fun TikToks every now and then and trying different things with my dogs. I don't know, but it's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, no, right now we're focused on creating a real revolution in grooming. One where groomers feel empowered, supported, and proud of what they do. We want to shift mindsets. We want solo groomers to realize that they don't have to stay stuck behind the table forever. And they could be business owners and leaders, change makers. And our goal is bigger than just DapperTails. It's about changing the way the industry sees mobile grooming. We want clients, groomers, and the public to take us more seriously. We don't want to be downplayed by our clients saying that we're overcharging for something when, the cost of things are going up for everyone. Yes, they're charging a lot of money to get your doodle groom, but you shouldn't have got a doodle if you can't afford it.
And that's my biggest downside is, again, mentoring and coaching groomers over years. It's like you're a service provider. You're a professional service provider. When your outlet blows in your house, you can't change your outlet, right? You can't change your faucet in your sink. So you hire a plumber, you hire an electrician. They're coming to your door. They're knocking at the front door. It's $150 to show up, and it's parts, labor, and everything else involved. Why? Because you can't do it. Very simply. It doesn't matter how long it took the guy to change your breaker in your panel box. To me, dog grooming is more intense and labor intensive than any of the other labor service businesses out there. So to be charging anything under $100 to $150 an hour, regardless on where you live and what the demographics are, is completely terrible in my opinion. And that's what our biggest pitch has always been, was charge your worth and build the confidence in the groomers to make them really realize that you're professional service providers, no different than a plumber, an electrician, a painter, spackler, you name it, they provide service. No one's charging under $100 to $150 an hour in any part of this country, as far as I'm concerned. And I think once you realize that, everything else becomes easy. You can scale, you can grow, you can pay $99 for MoeGo all day long, because one abandoned booking recovery is going to pay for that month of software. One client that you can book while you're blow drying a dog working in that van will pay for that software. I can go on all night about it. Charge your worth. That's really basically, in a nutshell, this whole seminar, the whole industry in a whole. Charge what you're worth. And even if you think you're charging, you're still probably not charging enough. Sorry, but I'm not sorry.
That's coming from the guy who wouldn't groom a dog for $1,000.
I'm not touching a dog. I don't need to. I have her.
Okay,
I don't
so
think Sean's ever bathed the dog either. I was teasing him. I was like, "Have you ever bathed the dog? You're talking about all this." He installs the bathing systems. He does all that, but I don't think he's ever bathed the dog. But
No, not
what were
really.
you saying, Ivy?
Oh, yes. So I was just saying that we're gonna move on to our Q&A section. Chris and Emily, you have 13 questions from
Oh
the
my
chat and
gosh.
Q&A.
Let's go.
Yes. So for the first question, they said, in the beginning, you mentioned all the wonderful people you have met along the way. How do you handle not so great people? I focus on safety, animal welfare, physical and mental, and overall prioritize running an ethical business. I'm kind and sociable, but I can't shake the feeling that there are people out there talking ill of me. I have had to terminate some employees in the past that don't fit the standards, so it's a possibility.
Yeah.
It's part of life, part of business, right? I mean, we're all in relationships that aren't amazing at some point, and you have to terminate them right away. And that's for the best interest of the company and the employees in the company, right? And we've had to terminate 2 people in 8 years, over 40 employees hired, and 2 we've had to fire. And I think those numbers in my book are, I don't know, 95.5% success. So I'll take that, 2 employees, and it's gonna happen regardless. I mean, as good as we screen, as much as we try, it's just gonna happen. There's gonna be a bad apple. So once we find it, we act on it immediately, and I mean immediately.
Right. The bottom line is, if you can't fully trust your groomer, they should not be working for you. Unfortunately, especially mobile grooming, in a shop, at least you could watch them and make sure that they're doing right by the dog. But as soon as we hear wind that from a client that one of our groomers is yelling at their dog from outside the truck that the owner's here, it's like we have a hard, no tolerance for that kind of behavior. And, we can't trust you anymore. Once it happens once, and that's with the client there, like, how do we know what you're doing when no one's listening? So we don't have that trust anymore. And it goes both ways, from an employee's perspective. If you can't trust who you're working for, you shouldn't be working for them either. So trust is everything, especially in mobile grooming. Because, I mean,
You're dealing
you
with the
have no idea.
clients, the van. I mean, you're on your own. It's a very independent opportunity. So we give all the trust from the beginning. I don't have a reason to not trust you until I don't, and then it's over. And we're like a light switch. So it's either 100% trust or you're out, very simply. And we lay that all out on the table. So there's really, and that's why our success rate, I believe, is very high from the beginning.
Well, it
I
can
want
be
to
a
say to this
too.
to the anonymous attendee, I also want to say, because it's really sticking to me, I can't shake the feeling that there are people out there talking ill of me. I'm going to say, don't give power to the voice that doesn't matter. You do your own thing. You're running a successful business, and you're proud of your clients, and you're proud of your book. You focus on that, and you do what is best for you.
There's always going
Is
to
what
be
I would
haters
do.
in the game, regardless of what level you're at. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
20 van, doesn't matter.
Don't give power to the voice that doesn't matter. That's kind of my motto in life.
I love that. And it's true. It's very true.
So we have three questions from Tori. Thank you so much, Tori. The first question is, did your secretary answer the phones for all locations?
All right, so we have a New York call center with 3 live secretaries, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They pick up all location calls. What happens is our locations call our calls. So if you're calling and you're booking an appointment for Scottsdale, Arizona, you press 5. It links you to Scottsdale. If Scottsdale doesn't pick up the phone, the local groomer, who is our lead groomer, who does sometimes pick up phone calls, if she's available to pick up the call, she picks it up. If not, it reroutes to Long Island internally.
Wow, the next question is that 18K month in Arizona with one van as a start?
One van. Today marks the end of the month. It launched July 1st and it closed at 17,800 today.
Wow, congrats to that
Thank,
van.
thank you.
The last question from Tori is your secretary calling abandoned bookings and answering incoming calls?
Within 30 minutes of the abandoned booking. We don't play games because, as you guys know, right? You want something done now, you want it now. So if somebody abandons a booking, it's already delayed by an hour because of MoeGo's system, right? So they see it at 12 o'clock, they abandon it at 12. We get the notification exactly 60 minutes after on our system that shows abandoned. We call them. I'm crazy with the abandons. Like they have to be called. They come priority over anyone and everything because they're looking for another groomer right now because we didn't have availability until Friday, but they need it by Wednesday because they're going away. So they're actively calling other groomers who aren't answering the phone, and that's why we need to get on that quick. And that's why we recover so many abandons.
I
I
definitely
love
really
that.
I as a consumer, I'm always like, okay, on to the next.
Everybody is. We all are. And that's why it's very important. Imagine getting a call back in 10 minutes and being like, hey, you just called us and, oh, you needed it by Tuesday? I got you. We'll get you done. Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock work. We'll do it after hours for you. Don't worry about it, Ivy. I got you.
Yeah, that customer service is amazing. Anonymous said, how much is the franchise fee and territory size?
Very good question. Franchise fee is $50,000, which is pretty much in line with any other mobile grooming franchise. But the differentiator is the territory size. We're 100,000 people, and the nice thing is, and I'll use Scottsdale as the example. So you just bought into Scottsdale, you launched your first van, you got 100,000 people territory. You're already like, oh my God, I filled up my first van. I need to hire my second groomer. Your lead groomer got your second groomer. You can add on another 50,000 people in the same territory for a very minimal price. But more importantly, you can launch more vans with no additional franchise fee. Where other franchises, they're charging you by the van. We don't charge by the van, we charge by the territory size. And that's a big differentiator because other franchises, they'll want to sell you 3 vans in Scottsdale and charge you 50 for the first and 40 for the next 2, half of it paid up front, regardless if you open or not.
Right. So we're already setting it up to that we want you to grow. We're trying to set you up for success at the get-go.
We set up our franchise without getting deep into that question.
Mm-hmm.
We set up our franchise very differently than the other 4 in the same space. We were built by groomers, so we know what is expected. We know how much our vans achieve. We know the realistic numbers, and we know the FDDs of every other franchise out there. We're nothing like any of them, and we're going to prove that very, very soon once our launch hits and takes over and people actually understand our model versus everybody else's. We're going to disrupt the industry, basically.
Very
I love
exciting.
it.
Jose asked, what are the thoughts on memberships and flat fee programs instead of paying for services?
I mean, honestly, we go back with this internal conversation. I feel like I fight myself in my head all night, all day. Like, yes, we should do a subscription. Yes, we should do a monthly fee. We should do every 4 weeks, groom your dog. At the end of the day, no one even realizes, but it's a subscription without even realizing. We go there. Heather pulls up. She grooms your dog. She's going to do an amazing job. Guess what happens? You're going to rebook in 4 to 6 weeks, regardless, period. It's just what's happening. So we don't really need a subscription model. And just even a launch of any of our Charlotte, North Carolina location, right? Or any of our locations, as soon as our groomer goes there and they're killing it the first month, the second they're pulling up and they're done with that job, that client's rebooking for 4, 5, or 6 weeks out. So it's really not needed. I mean, I haven't really found, I guess our model was just built with no subscriptions ever. So I feel like it's hard to implement that. and I don't really feel like it's needed personally at this point.
From Draper, they asked, did you guys call any small mom and pop vans and absorb them, put them in your vans op?
We did actually. So that's a really good question. I love that. And this brings us to another topic of, because of empowering a lot of groomers, we actually took on a lot of business owners through our journey of groomers that fall into that category of the burnout, dealing with everything, hamster wheel, all month long, grooming, just in a homemade van. Just most groomers fall into that category of like, I want to be in my own business. I want to get out of corporate. I want to get out of the shop, this toxic environment. Let me get a van and let me try to do this on my own. And they do it, and they're successful doing it. The only problem, like we said, they're not able to answer the phones. They're not that confident. They're grooming with their hearts, and they're not really business minded, and they're not focused on the money, because we know that groomers aren't doing this for the money. They're doing it for the pets. So they feel bad for the people. They're not confrontational. They don't want to charge what they want. This lady's on a fixed income. They listen to all the sob stories, everything that is just they shouldn't be doing. But they're amazing groomers. And one example is Ashley, that we took on in West Palm in Florida when we met her in May of 2024. We took her on. She was in business for a couple of years on her own. She had a homemade van that was constantly breaking down. We linked up with her. She came on board. She came on with almost 100 clients of her own. She had a steady schedule, making $8,500 a month in sales, which, as we all know, if you're in mobile and you're making $8,500 a month, you're breaking even, running in a hamster wheel at full speed. So we made a deal with her and said, listen, let's give you a brand new van. Let's fly you to New York. Let's train you. Let's get you feeling good. Let's get you more confident. Let's make you understand that people will pay double what you're even asking. You just have to understand that and put that mindset in her. Took her on. In under 8 months, we grew her van with her existing clients to 17K without even batting an eyelash. No one left, even clients. She was very excited. She's like, I can't wait to lose this client and that client. This lady will never pay more. Meanwhile, the joke was on her because everyone paid more. No one left. Everything was just like, okay, this is not how I thought it would go down. And she ended up she's making more money being with us, and being a part of our team and not having any headaches or responsibility or financial obligations on the back end than she was on her own. And not to mention, she was one of the most amazing groomers, that we've met in our company. And just recently, we promoted her to be our operations manager for DapperTails.
Wow, that's a very inspiring story.
Thank
Um,
you.
Sean has 3 questions. There's been a lot of talk about pricing, which is great. You touched a little early on about margin, which I don't think a lot of groomers understand. What would you consider to be your minimum margin within a market, and how do you calculate that?
To be honest, the simple answer is I don't look at margins. I don't look at that my insurance in Long Island is $9,000 for a van, and my insurance in South Carolina is $3,500 for a van. So I should just like price it No, we price as supply and demand. As much as we can pull from a market, we will pull. As much money as we can charge in a specific market, we're going to charge. That's going to keep our groomers. Forget the company. We're going to make money regardless. I could charge $100 tomorrow and put half the groomers on Long Island out of business. But it's not even about that. It's about making sure that our groomers are making the most amount of money so that they don't leave us. That's the whole secret here. We don't want our groomers leaving us. So charging little means they make little, and then they're looking for a better job, a better opportunity somewhere else. And we don't want that. So we're trying to make the most amount. So we'll price kind of mediocre and where we think is the right price point, and we'll usually up it from there. And if we find that the location's really kind of starting out slow because we might be a little overpriced, then we just go heavy with discounts in the beginning and offer 20, 30, or $40 off just to get them going. So yes, ma'am, our normal price is 150. Oh my God, and she's not having it. Well, okay, we're going to take $25 off. Is 125 sound good to you? Okay, that sounds better. Let's try it. And then once we go there, we're going to show her why we're worth the 150. And if we have to hold the 125, we hold the 125 for 3 to 6 months until we get higher paying clients. So we kind of really treat each market differently. But at the end of the day, the mindset is we need to get the most amount of money out of that market for our groomers.
Yeah, trial and error. Um, Sean also asked, you talked about aggressively responding to abandoned bookings. How do you approach that after hours, or do you have evening staff?
We answer phones until 9 at night. I feel like it's okay to call anybody till 9 o'clock at night, Eastern time or local time. And for us, if it comes in at midnight, we'll just call them in the morning at 8 a.m. So we start our calls at 8 a.m. Our secretaries sign on at 7, and we start our calls at 8 a.m. So we'll just tend to it in the morning. Obviously, we get abandons all through the night. We're not going to call people in the middle of the night, but
Yeah, I think that
Mom,
could
why not? That sounds
Searching
fun.
all the night.
they're searching in the middle of the night. But the automated message goes
Right.
out 30 minutes after for the automated MoeGo amazing reminder message that we set for a preset message that's just automated.
Sean also asked, I've been afraid to offer a new client discount on services because I'm concerned about getting pushback on paying full price for subsequent grooms. Do you experience that, and how do you manage it with the client?
I think I just answered that pretty much, but it's the same thing. I mean, you offer discounts, and we use people. Basically, okay, so we offer a new client a discount, $25 off. She's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. It's a little over my budget, but I'll do it for 125. Your normal price is 150. So you go there, you groom the dog for 125. If you have room on your calendar and you want to rebook her for 125 and you can hold the discount for a little bit longer, so we hold the discount for a little bit longer. If you're fully booked and you're getting busy like we are in some locations, then we just let them know like, hey, this was an introductory offer. We can't hold it anymore for the future. So I'm using the customer as a filler to fill up my groomer schedule, right? So even an abandoned booking, I'll push a discount very hard on an abandoned booking if I have a groomer who had a last minute cancellation in that exact town and that client happens to be in that town with a dog that we want to do and it's easy. I'll push a very hard discount just to get them on the calendar. And hey, you never know. That guy really had 4 dogs and he's just testing you out for 1. Or hey, that guy might be booking every 2 weeks. You really don't know who you're talking to or who you're interacting with at any given time. So we've gotten some of our best clients are people that we just had to give a discount to, not even realizing that they had 6 dogs on the schedule, but they just booked 1 out, and now you just booked them for 6 in 2 weeks because they're blown away by your groomer. Everything's about showing them the proof, right, and the concept. So our groomers are the most amazing people. So showing them, I can talk the biggest game all day. Our secretaries could talk amazing. Our pricing could be good. But at the end of the day, we need to show them that the service is worth the price that they're going to pay. So once we go there, regardless of price, we have that groomer show up, give them that service and show them why it's worth the money that they're paying. It's a lock. It's done. It doesn't matter if your hairdresser went up an extra $10 or your babysitter's charging you an extra $5. If that's what you're into and you're happy with that service, you're going to pay it, period.
Thank you, Chris. And also thank you, Sean, for the questions. Nicole asked, what is the general commission rate for your groomers? I have read for mobile it should be between 30 to 40%.
On point, 30 to 40% is 100% correct.
Nice. Okay, we have 2 more questions. What can you offer for someone who is curious in this field but has no DL and is not planning to get a DL?
Driver's license, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming they mean like someone who can't drive a van.
So we actually had, believe it or not, that's a great question. We had a groomer just apply to us and she didn't have a driver's license. And I was like, and I'm rarely like stumped where I'm like, like I got answered. I'm problem solver. So I'm like, how do we do this? How do we get her on? Like, we need a groomer. How do we make this happen? If I had to hire a groomer without a driver's license tomorrow, I'm going to reduce her commission a little bit, very simply, and hire a bather for her. So less workload on her, little bit less money, because even though starting our groomers at 30%, let's say, right? If I started her at 25% or even 20%, she's still going to make amazing money and she doesn't have to groom and she has a helper. I think almost any groomer might opt in for 5 to 10% less monetary for a bather, driver, chauffeur, person next to them. So our model is just a 1-person operator. So it really doesn't, we've never had to improvise the commission. But if I had to tomorrow, I would definitely reduce the commission enough where I could pay that bather $15, $12 to $20 an hour, whatever your state wage minimum, whatever is, to fit that standard where you'd have a bather, they're making money. It might put me on a little bit higher of like a commission rate, but then also you might be able to do other jobs that are special handling, 2-person jobs, bigger dogs, multi-dog stops. So it might speed up in some areas, for that situation, but I would make it where it wouldn't really cost the business no more than 40%. So I would tweak the groomer's pay a little bit so that between a groomer and a chauffeur/bather, And you never know, that bather might actually learn how to groom by being in the van, watching and learning. And now you got another groomer, and you could push her or him out the door and then replace that with another driver and continue the cycle. So it's not really a bad thing at all.
Nice. And DL is driver license. Thank you, Alina, for clarifying. Last question is, do you also send an automated text message for abandoned ones, or do you call them 30 minutes later? Which I think you kind of covered, but yeah.
Both. We do both. We send the automated just in case our secretaries are tied up and it takes them 45 minutes. We like to just throw out the quick initial, hey, like, but we know it's automated, and that's where, like, as much as we love the AI automation workflow stuff, we still want to keep the personalized touch of actually calling, because everyone knows at the end of the day it's an automated message. Like, it's sent 30 minutes on the dot, and it's like it's not really personalized, even though we do put personalization into it, but everyone knows it's not really super personalized. Nothing beats a phone call at the end of the day. And I truly believe that's why we're ahead of the game, is because we answer the phone when nobody else does, or the majority don't. Answering the phone is everything. I can hammer out a quick deal in 3 minutes on the phone over a 20-minute text message back and forth. So for us, answering the phone is everything in this business.
That's awesome. Oh, I guess there is one more question. The Fatih asked, did you guys have a chance to meet MoeGo Lily in person and buy her a dinner? Hmm.
Well, first of all, she should be buying us like 1,000 dinners, but
Yes, for all
but
your
yes,
help.
met her in person, heard the voice, heard it all. Amazing. Love it.
Awesome. Okay, I think that will conclude our Q&A section. Thank you again, Chris and Emily, for being so open and generous with your time and your insights. And if you're thinking about tuning in and thinking, I want that kind of growth, but I don't know where to start, MoeGo can help you scale, automate, and stay in control of your business. You can learn more on our website, and then follow us on Instagram and Facebook at moego.pet. Join our Facebook group communities too. Emily and Chris also has their own Facebook group community at How to Succeed in Mobile Grooming. And also follow them on socials, DapperTails Official and the Rough Life Mobile Grooming. And if you sign up for MoeGo with their referral code MOE1GU2, you can get 30% off your first month. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today, and let's keep building the future of pet care.
Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Melinda.
Thanks, guys. So nice to see you guys again. Thanks
See
for
you
all
next
the
month.
knowledge.
See you next month at Hershey, or no?
I'll be there. I'll see you
All
at
right.
Hershey.
Can't
All right,
wait. Can't
see you
wait.
there.
See you guys later. All right. Enjoy your night. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye, everyone.
Always. You got it. Bye-bye.
MoeGo.